So what do you get when you take a BMW and add the number 7 to it? Well, you get this, the 2004 745i. Now the 2001 740i was a very good looking car. So what happened with this? With that big old haunch in the back and the oddly shaped front, what were they thinking? So let's take this big old German luxury barge for a ride and check the tech. So audio on this guy is an unbranded 180 watts. It sounds alright. It does have Logic 7 controls, although it doesn't make it sound any better. It gives it a kind of synthetic surround sound, and it sounds weird unless you're listening to a CD. But you have the usual FM, AM. You have weather band, which you can get the weather on, you know, if you live under a rock. You have your single CD slot here. You have a 6-disc CD changer in the dash, as well as your tone controls for treble, bass, balance, fader, speed, volume, and the Logic 7 control. You also get GPS navigation. It is DVD based, so it's kind of slow, and this has the old 2004 DVD disc, so it doesn't have all the destinations. It also has voice command. I haven't used this, so let's try it. It's this button on the steering wheel. Navigation.
Pardon me?
It doesn't give any prompts on the screen. That's so helpful. So helpful. Let's see if it'll do for radio. Radio.
Radio menu.
K-Rock. Radio off. So we can see there it's pretty useless. Interesting thing with the climate control, if you want to, say, put the air conditioning on your feet or the heater on your feet, normally in a regular car there would be 3 buttons. In the HVAC controls there would be up or windshield, middle for your center vents, and lower for your feet. This doesn't have them. All you get as knobs and buttons, you can adjust your fan speed, your temperature, windshield, auto recirculate or regular recirculate, auto for the air conditioning, and rear defroster. So what you have to do if you want it on your feet, you have to go to menu, and then you have to click over to climate control. Then you have to wait for it to load. Then you have to go up. Then you have to select on what zone you want the air, and then you can adjust it that way. Now that makes sense when I'm sitting here talking about it, but if you're driving, that's a lot of concentration on just adjusting the air to go on your feet. That's ridiculous. You can kind of see how this first generation of iDrive is the worst in-car infotainment system ever made. So let's get this big old beast on the road and see how it drives. For a 5,300-pound sedan, that's not bad. Transmission is good. Sometimes shifts can be a little harsh around town, and it's somewhat difficult to keep this coasting when you're on the throttle, because it'll either stick itself in first gear or second gear. Sometimes it'll start off in second gear, and then you get this kind of, when you get on the gas, it'll feel like it's going forward, and then when you get off the gas, it'll feel like it's slowing down, kind of thing. So it's like on the gas, and then off the gas, and then on the gas, and it's very weird. With the transmission in manual mode, it's not really in manual mode, because if you're, say, 5,000 RPM in 4th gear, it'll automatically change it into 5th gear by itself. Even when you're in manual mode, it still takes over the shifts. The shifter is up on the column. Weird as it is, but it kind of works. I find myself sometimes putting it in drive when it should be in reverse. Handling is good. It has this variable weight assist steering, so at slow speeds it's really light, and at higher speeds it's heavier. But driving around town, it feels really weird, because it'll feel like if you're going over rough pavement, it'll kind of tug at the wheel every which way, and it just kind of feels like the wheels are broken sometimes. It's actually a pretty good way I would describe it, is it feels like the wheels are broken a lot of the time. And that's not a good feeling when you're when you're driving down the road and you're what was an $80,000 BMW. You don't want it to feel like the front wheels are broken. When you come off from a stop and you get on the gas, it's like the first inch of pedal travel does nothing, and then all of a sudden it just lunges forward. And this being the most expensive BMW, you would think that it would have very good throttle response, and it doesn't. The sport mode doesn't help it, because it just lunges faster forward. But when you get on the gas, it's like nothing. Whoa! It's like if you took a rubber band, stretched the rubber band, and then released one end, it's like that. Gauges are good, very sharp, easy to read. This car is almost too quiet, because when you're driving, you can be doing 60 miles an hour on a surface street and not even realize it, because it feels like you're doing 30, because it's so quiet. You're so disconnected from the road. Well, you can feel bumps in this car. This has the optional sport package, which gives you a 3-spoke steering wheel, stiffer suspension, and sport seats, except I'm pretty sure they're the same seats as standard. Oh god. Oh god. Someone's school just got out. Oh! Look at all these weird children with their expensive t-shirts. RVCA. Volcom.